recomiendo pues que estén cambiando de traductora, cosa porque a veces habla español. Los dejo con Di Bari.
Thank you. Hola, campuseros. That's what I want from you. Now, look, you know what I'm here to do. I got to talk about smart cities, cities of the future. First of all, can you hear me? Can you hear me there? Cool. If you cannot hear, you do like this. And they will take care of it. Okay, now, as you've seen, there is my Twitter there. Now, first of all, thank you to all the ones who are following me. I already asked you this morning if there is anything you want me to talk about. I'm a speaker on demand, and I had a few, and I have a few preguntas, and I will talk about it. But also, please, 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 connect, because during my speech, I'm going to send you some tweets about some things. So, please do it if you didn't do it before. And then you can unfollow me after. Now, the cities of the future. Now, the cities of the future are the mirror of our civilization, for the good and for the bad. The cities are what we are, since ever. In a way, the cities are us. But something is happening now to the cities, and this is important to understand. What is happening is there is a great increase in urbanization. Urbanization has been proved to be the mother of all the problems of sustainability of our planet. So, if there is an increase in urbanization, the problems become bigger. And the problems are like the global warming, for instance. More people in the cities, more global warming. Or pollution. Or viral diseases. Or health problems, all kinds of health problems. Or, for instance, waste of energy. So this is why it's important for us to understand what's happening in the cities today. Because this increase in urbanization is working against the planet. On the other hand, the cities are the habitat of our relations. And they have a great economical impact on our lives. I mean, they have a great positive impact on the economy. They produce wealth. They increase trade. And, let's say it, they are the place where there is fun and entertainment. And this is why we want to live in the cities. Now, the cities of the future, how they will be. The cities of the future will be extreme. They will be so very beautiful and so very bad at the same time. They will be overpopulated, they will be expensive, they will be chaotic. But at the same time, we will love to live there. Why? Let me tell you a story. And our story begins April 4, 1836. We are in the Indian Ocean, and there is a young man paddling around the Kneeling Islands, which is 2 islands made out of 27 atolls. This man was Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin, as you all know, is the most important scientist of evolution. And that day, Darwin was very much impressed by the coral reef. Why? The coral reef left him with a question. Now you have to consider that he was so many miles away from his hometown, London. It was 23 years before he wrote The Origin of Species. But still, looking at the coral reef, he asks himself, why? Why so many fishes make their home in the coral reef? Because the crystal-eyed waters where the coral is, they have a great lack of nutrients. There is no food, almost no food in the coral reef. But still, if you take 10,000 cubic feet of water, everywhere in the ocean, average, you find a dozen fishes. You go on the coral reefs and you will find 1,000 fishes. 25% of the marine species, of the fishes of the world, live into 0.1% of the surface of the ocean. Why? We don't know why. This is called the Darwin's paradox. The scientists are trying to understand it since almost 200 years. But now, why we're talking about the Darwin paradox here? What does it to do with us? To do so, we have to talk about the genesis of urbanization. We say that urbanization is the mother of all the problems we have. We need to know how this started. Now, we all tend to think of urbanization like something new, right? Urbanization is a new thing. No. Urbanization started 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, and then went up. Now, 5,000 years ago was when people first started to go into cities. At that time, the entire world, we were only 50,000 people. 50,000 people in the entire world. You can imagine, it's like a soccer stadium. Oh, by the way, now that Italy is out of the cup, I'm standing for Colombia. Yeah. And you guys, you will better beat Brazil in 2 days from now, because I will be standing there on TV. And I will suffer together with you, because the reason why I like Colombia is that you guys, you play with corazón. So vamos Colombia con berraquera. Okay, let's get back to Mesopotamia, okay? 5,000 years ago, we were 50,000. You can imagine the world was so large. But then we started growing and growing, the humankind. And Anno Domini, the year 1, we were 2 million people. We were 2 million people. Look at that. This was, we had the Roman Empire in Europe. We had the Han Dynasty in China. You think of the Roman Empire, all the places that they were conquering, all the Romans. You think there were so many. I mean, all the people of the world, they were less than the people living in Cali, in the world. And so now, look at this slope. Okay, the curve here, you see this curve here? This is called slope. This is a superlinear slope, meaning that it says an unbounded growth. An unbounded growth is a crecimiento ilimitado. Now, what happens in the world when there is un crecimiento ilimitado? Sin límites. Remember yesterday, Michio Kaku was talking with you about the new economic cycles? And he said, okay, there was the steam power, and the world started to have an economic boom. And then after the boom, bang, it went down. The London Stock Exchange, 1850. And then again, electricity and cars. And another boom, boom, economic growth, renaissance of economy, wealth everywhere. And then, bang, the big crisis, the big depression of 1929. Why? Because economy and humankind, we all work in the same way. And the way is that when there is an unbounded growth, After that, there is a collapse. Crecimiento ilimitado, colapso. Always. The humankind is growing now with a superlinear growth. I want to show you. In order to let you understand the feeling, I want you to feel, to listen, to feel the heartbeat of the growth of humankind. So, I'm starting from the Anno Domini, the year 1. Listen, this is the heartbeat of humankind. And now you can see there. You can see there, you have 1 dot is 1 million people. And when I have more than 1 million people in a place, we're going in a territory nearby. And this is the way we're rising. This is the way humanity is growing. Now on the other side, you have the civilization who is leading the world in that period. And while we're growing, you may probably want to notice that the leadership of the world never stays in the same continent for more than 300-400 years. He moves around. He goes from Europe to China, to Latin America, Maya, Persia, and so on. Why? He's moving around. You see the Mayan Empire here, for instance. So now, the question that I want to ask you is, because of humankind growth, which is a superlinear slope, are we going to collapse? And the answer is probably yes. But also we may ask ourselves, because of the superlinear growth that is growing so fast, did we ever collapse before? And the answer is no. And the answer is no. Can you give me more heartbeat? And the answer is no. Now, you know why the answer is no? Because, look, leadership, Viking conquest. You know how they did it? Or the other civilization taking over. You know how they did it? Wars. Wars were tweaking down the humankind growth. So the slope, which was a superlinear, was adjusted by so many dead people because of the wars. But not only the wars. Look, the Mongols in China, how many people died because of their invasions? But not only the wars, but also epidemics. You cannot imagine what the epidemics were in the past. There were ages when, you see, the Black Plague, for instance, we were reduced to a very small number of people around the world. This is why we had a superlinear going up, and up, and we were balancing it with the wars, with the epidemics, things that we don't want in our civilization, no more. Now, yesterday, here is the new world, the colonial America, and people is moving there, mostly from England and Europe, and then what happens is the Industrial Revolution, what Mitchell was talking about yesterday, which is a period of renaissance, economic wealth. But then, again, we do not collapse in industrial age. In spite of all this comfort, we don't collapse because, bang, World War I, World War II, and again, because of this, we drink down. And then the new medicine, and then the life is longer, and then there are less wars. And then what happens? We are going to collapse. Now, we don't want to collapse, right? But this is the way it is. This is the way it works. After any unlimited growth, there is a collapse. We are like fishes in the coral reef. Why we're going to collapse? We're going to collapse. We are going to collapse because we are doing the same thing that fishes are doing with the coral reef. Now, think about this. Urbanization, the mother of all the problems of the planet. You know how many people are entering towns, into cities, into the global cities now? We are already more people living in the cities than living in the countries. There are 2 people every second. Now, they don't look too many to you, but look, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 people enter the cities. Now, think of you, how many you are? Campus Columbia, 2,500? Okay, say that we are 2,500 in this room. Okay, look around you. There's not so much space, right? Now, my speech is 1 hour. Every 20 minutes, 2,500 people will get here. Say that we are a metaphor of a city. So now we are 2,500. After the first 20 minutes, we are 5,000. And then another 20 minutes, we are 7,500. Another 20 minutes, I close my speech and shoot. We are, can we say shoot at Campus Columbia? And mierda, we are 10,000 now. Think about it. 4 times the people here. So now, let's stay inside the metaphor. What happens? Not enough oxygen for everybody. Pollution. It starts to be hot. 10,000 people in the same place, it starts to be hot, right? And this is what? Global warming. Or, for instance, we stay very tight if we are 10,000 in this place, right? And say that the people coming in, somebody has a cold, viral, health problems. This is what's happening. This is why urbanization is the mother of all problems. Now, let me show you what we got to do. Because what we got to do is, is the first time in the history of humankind that the future of the humankind itself is in our hands. If we will build sustainable cities, humankind will survive. If we will not, this will be the collapse. Listen, I want to tell you one thing. I want to make you one example. We all tend to consider the problems of the planet like something impacting to quality of life, logistics. For instance, we all know that fuel is provoking pollution, right? And this is not good. And the fuel is costing a lot of money. Why? Because the natural resources of oil are extinguishing, right? Okay, now look at this way. How much in Colombia, here in Colombia, how much is the cost for a gallon of fuel? 8,500, 1,700, right? Now, a gallon of fuel is 8,500, 1,700. A liter of fuel, say between 2,200, 2,300 pesos, right? Okay, yesterday I was here with my friend Mitchell. I was thirsty. I wanted to drink something. I went to the bar. I bought a bottle of water, 3,000 pesos. The bottle was half a liter. 3,000 pesos for half a liter of water is 6,000 pesos for 1 liter of water. Okay? Now, water costs 2.5 times more than fuel. These natural resources is extinguishing. There are a lot of people around the world who don't drink tap water because they drink water from bottles because the tap water is not good enough. Now they will start selling us air, oxygen, as they're selling us water instead of tap water, 3 times the price of fuel. Here, in my hotel, a bottle of 1 liter of water. They gave me a liter of water in my bathroom so I can wash my teeth and everything. And then they gave me another bottle of water, still in the bathroom. 18,000 pesos. Forget about it. I mean, I'm not going to buy water, 1 liter of water for 18,000 pesos. Where this water was coming from? Evian, from France. Are you bringing this freaking water from France to here? Polluting the planet and selling it to me for 18,000 pesos? This is what's happening, guys. We've got to be very careful because the problem is the water, the air, these kind of problems. Now let's see what happens.
Did you know that our cities grow at the rate of 2 people per second? It's almost 200,000 a day.
By 2 people every second. 200,000 people a day. That's enough to fill Wembley Stadium twice every day. For the first time in human history, more than half of all people live in cities. In the year 2030, 60% of us will live in cities, about 5 billion people. That percentage will continue to increase. By 2050, 70% of us will be urban dwellers. Imagine that growth. A new city the size of London built every month. To keep up with this growth, every year cities invest some 2 trillion euros or 2.7 trillion US dollars into their infrastructure. Housing, schools, public transport, water pipes and roads. Want to put that into perspective? You could lay 2 trillion euro notes end to end and reach the sun twice. In many places, urban growth tends to outpace even the best efforts to ensure that city people everywhere have access to their basic needs. For example, nearly half of Africa's urban population lives without healthy drinking water or sanitation. Our cities are constantly addressing issues that challenge their existence. A key subject is the issue of global warming. Cities account for 2/3 of global energy demand and up to 70% of worldwide greenhouse gas emissions. However, cities occupy only 2% of the Earth's surface, an area the size of Argentina. And yet, from New York to New Delhi, cities are the growth engines of the global economy, providing us with jobs and a better life. Cities present enormous opportunities for all of us and significant challenges to the planet we share. For the first time in history, our future depends on building sustainable cities. Let's begin.
In 2030, 60% of the people will be into cities. 2050, 70% of the people of the world will be in a territory like Argentina. We're like fishes in coral reef. I mean, all these people in a territory like Argentina, and then the rest of the world, almost deserted. We'll be like having 10,000 people here. That's what we're going through. Now, I promised you the bad and the good. We spoke about the bad. The bad is coming from the increase of urbanization. And this growth of urbanization is the mother of all sustainable problems. So now, for the first time, we have the future of our cities in our hands. Let's begin. But now, let me show you the good too. And in order to do so, I would like to take you out in a journey into the future cities. And if you want to come with me in a journey, we're going back by car. And let me rock you up. Here, this is where our journey starts. But let me take the first exit, because I want to show you the near future, where the cars will be connected with sensors in the city, and our sensors will see augmented reality. For instance, a lane that's limited by a bike lane, or a school bus coming behind a blind corner so we can slow down. And then we will move with other cars on the highways, and the cars will start talking to each other. And they will say, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? I'm going there. Okay, so let's move on the other lane, so we'll not bother the other cars. And we will make little trains with the lanes. And we'll approach our destination, and we'll look for a parking. And looking for a parking, our car will start negotiating a parking place with a garage, and asking what is the price and what is the closest available. And then we'll go there, leave the car, and the car will park itself. Now, let's leave the near future. Let's move on. Let's move on to the real future, where the cities will start moving. We start changing around us. And the cars too, and they will all be electric cars. And yes, there will be flying cars. but not like they told us in the science fiction movies. There will not be a lot. The flying cars of the future will take the place of the helicopters now. They will be for long distance taxi. They will be for wealthy people. And where is going the traffic? The traffic is moving where? The traffic is moving underground. Underground will have ways and lanes that will take us like the underground tube is doing now. And all the freight will move underground. And it will be, and outside the cities will go like modular shuttles. Our life in the cities will be mostly interaction because the cities will be built, designed around us, interactive, digitalized. And this will be mostly security, but also digital signing and looking what we can do and where we can do wherever we go and whatever we do. We'll not need the cell phones anymore. And we will go around and the glasses will not look bad like the Google glasses, will look nice, and Italian stylists will finally make them, and we will know what to do when we will connect with people in the streets. Buildings. Mauricio, ¿dónde está Mauricio? Mauricio me escribí. Háblame de las casas. Okay, I thought interior design is most homes, and but I can tell you about buildings. Buildings will be managed with comfort, the health, everything through a control room. A control room which will be the place where we do everything we need, the energy efficiency, the comfort, the safety, the security, the technical service. And the buildings will be represented like an hologram in these control rooms. And this hologram will show us all the floors, all the components, any single floor and place in storage and office and apartment of the city. We can go up and down. And now we're going to the 81st floor and we want to go have access to an office and check the security of the place. And this is what we will do from a control room. Security of a place. Our buildings will be more secure through biometric fashion recognition. And we can be secure now inside the buildings, in our offices, for our work. And this is how the buildings of the future will work. I still don't know where Mauricio is, who tweeted me about this, but I hope you are there, Mauricio. And also, we will have energy plans that will be updated, energy management hour by hour, considering what is inside and what is outside the buildings. Solar cells, all the solar cells will disappear. Why? Because they go into the buildings. The buildings will be built around the tools for new energy, for alternative energies. I mean, think about it. When we started to do skyscrapers, we had to invent the elevators. You cannot think of a skyscraper 80 floors high without an elevator to go to the floors. Same thing will happen with alternative energies, because the tools for alternative energies, like this wind turbine, for instance, will be designed, the building will be designed around it. It's a tech-driven architecture that will start. And not only places like solar cells will go inside the window, in the facades of the buildings. And also other forms of alternative energy, like the energy coming from the water. Some cities will be built in the water near the city. Like here will be on the river, for instance, in Cali, or in Miami, where I live, will be in the sea. And from the water, we will get energy. Water energy. This energy will be of two kinds. Water energy, and if you are on the sea and not on the river, like in Cali, will be tidal energy too. Yeah, good. And screens. We will have screens and lights everywhere. The screens will be curved, and the lights will be everywhere. And you know why they will be everywhere? Because these lights will be eco-sustainable. We will not have, forget about LED, which is the top of eco-sustainability now. They will be plasma lights. And plasma lights will cost nothing, and electricity will cost nothing, and we can do them with making eco-sustainable cities where the skylines of the cities will change. The skylines of the past were made by vertical buildings. The skylines of the future will be made by lights. Look at this. This is in Dubai. And this is how it's happening. This is how it's converting now. This is a concept because all these things are in the future, but this is going to happen in a couple of years. And a rotating building where all the floors can rotate around. It will be dynamic. It's called dynamic architecture. And the cityscapes of the city will be made by lights and environments. It will be emotional. And the light will become a skin everywhere. Okay, we'll do the photos now. Curvilinear buildings. The buildings will not be, we had horizontal cities and then we had vertical cities. Now, the buildings will start imitating the nature. In nature, there are no squares, lines. Everything is curvilinear. So now this is what's going to happen. This is a project by Zaha Hadid, which is going to be there very soon. And now we'll see another one in Tehran that's going to be built very soon. They will imitate the nature. The forms, the curves of the buildings will start imitating the nature. He called it, the new trend will be biomimic. Biomimic means that the things will be done in the way that nature is. For instance, let me make you a couple of examples. Here, you see. Oh, okay, they will be joyful too. I mean, the architecture will start to be like toys. This is a museum of cartoons, and the buildings are made like cartoons because curvilinear will allow us not to put just one floor after the other, but it will develop the fantasy, the creativity of designers, like I am, by the way. So I was talking about biomimic, which is the new concept, the one coming up. Oh, sorry, before getting there, dynamic architecture. Not all the common parts of the buildings will change. We will not have the buildings the way they are now, static. The floors will be moved. The common sites of the buildings, the ones that we all use, not our apartments, of course. But also our apartments will rotate in presence of a skyline. And this is a project that is being built now in Abu Dhabi. Farms, vertical farms in the city. We'll start growing our food in the city. Not only because it's mile zero. Of course, we will not build everything in the cities. We'll build strawberries, not bananas. But they will be near to us. There will be vertical forests, vertical farms, vertical gardens, and they will give to the cities the oxygen that we're losing because we have too much concrete out there, and we will be all together, like we said, 10,000 people in the same room. So we'll not only grow our food in the same place where we are, not bringing the water from France or bananas from Africa, polluting the planet, because we'll have to be able to take under control any single aspect. And by mimic, look, this is called Voronoi diagrams. They are blueprints of the life. And this is a sexual area. This is the golden ratio, which is the algorithm, the base of any single living people or animals or anything. And this project was born in London for the city of New York, where they asked artists to work together with engineers and architects and designers to build up a place where the people of the future in the overloaded cities, polluted cities, can have a garden without putting down the buildings. And this garden is made on a lotus, and the lotus, as you know, is a flower that is flowering even on dirty water, and is made like lotuses over the city of New York. And I will shut up so you can give me some music. This is the kind of cities that we want to build. This project, which is going to be, is considered now by the local government in New York, inspired a Japanese poet, Kobayashi Issa, and haiku. As you know, haiku is poems very short. Now, for the few of us who don't read Japanese, this is the translation. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, Vito, hey, you like pictures, right? You know what we'll do? I'll launch a video, I'll come there, and we Instagram and we Twitter, okay? We make the pictures, I'll do it, okay? I promise. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, Vito, give me a break. Give me a freaking break, this is impossible. Okay, first of all the technologies, all the innovation necessary to do this, what we are just seeing in our journey into the future, is already in the labs of the world, has already been invented, tested. It works. Why is not out there yet? I'll make you an example. Okay, you all have a cell phone in your pocket, right? Okay, now I want to ask you, when the cell phone was invented, this is innovation technology, right? So when was this invented? Tell me. Okay, I know what I have to do. I'll come there, so that I will be there already. So when? Tell me. You tell me.
Steve Jobs.
Quando è stato inventato? Quando si è inventato il telefono cellulare? Che anno? 1987. Quando? 93. When? 87. 90. ¿Cómo te llamas? Hermano. Allora, tenemos un 90 para hermano que ofre menos o más. So, when? 66. Okay. Okay. Look. Wait a second. Now, cell phone. This one. 1946. Yes, not kidding. 1946. Nobody of us were born already. 1946. We were not gone on the moon. 1946 now. And you say, okay, but it was in a lab. Nobody knew it. No way, guys. 1947, Americans, they open a new service. They call it mobile telephone service. 1947, 100 cities connected, mobile. They had 5 lines only. You wanted to make a cell phone call, you had to wait 3 hours. They failed, of course. Now, this is what happened to innovation. The innovation is already there. Tenemos una era de tecnología avanzada imperfecta. Tenemos toda la tecnología que queremos y no la podemos usar porque tiene un defecto, costa mucho, and I started to speak Spanish. What happened to me? Okay, so now, if you don't believe me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one thing. I'm taking you in another journey. I want you to have a sneak preview of what happens inside the labs, inside the laboratories, where people like this guy, Nicholas, my friend, is going and watching what's happening, and then it's spreading the word around the world. Because this is what happens in the labs. We, in the scientific community, we know it, but other people don't know it. So, and I will tell you what are the technologies that will impact on what you saw before in our journey. Not only, I will tell you where they have invented and who has invented. Facts, not words. And while you're watching my personal top 10 of the future, the next top 10 of the cities, I will stay here and Instagram with you, and we'll make a lot of pictures for Twitter, okay? Cool, go. I move there. Can we make a picture?
In science fiction movies, the cities of the future have flying cars and robotic butlers. What is really going to happen? Here are the 10 trends that will have a huge impact on the cities, the future. Living in a city condo or on a country farm, in the future, we will not have to make this choice, as nature will invade cities and farms will move into our buildings.
Rapidly growing urban populations and agricultural land shortages will urge big cities to reconsider food growth and distribution. Green roof designs will become part of architecture. They will extend the life of buildings, manage rainwater, and reduce building heating and cooling costs. Farms will move into urban areas, and crops will be grown hydroponically in controlled indoor environments.
Houses will be 3D printed, much in the same way that we print a document today, or how we are beginning to print 3D prototypes. Three-dimensional concrete printing will change the construction industry.
Scientists of Loughborough University are working
Hey,
on a new
that
construction
was
process
art.
inspired
Rock them
by
out,
3D
come on.
printing. 3D printing works on the basis of a highly controlled extrusion of cement-based mortar. Smaller, simpler homes
Excuse
will
me.
be directly printed by using a contour crafting technique invented by Barack
here.
Kushnevis, an engineer from the University of Southern California. Using this technology, a 2-story house can be built in just 20 hours.
Okay, I'll do
A
like
similar
your
construction
statue.
process is used by Enrico Dini, an Italian inventor of the largest existing 3D printing technology called D-Shape.
Here.
For thousands of years, our life has revolved around sunlight. Then we had electricity for the last 130 years. And the next step forward, forget electricity. We will return to natural light from the sun.
By 2020, most buildings will have built-in systems to collect natural light through lenses that track the movement of the sun. Using refractive pipe systems, the light will be captured and distributed to various parts of the building.
Yeah, sure.
Paran
Hey, give me
Solar
more voice
Light
there.
Company, in collaboration with Chalmers Technical University in Gothenburg, Sweden, has already developed an innovative system that allows us to bring natural sunlight to indoor environments. The captured sunlight then flows out of the solar luminaries, providing enough natural light for the whole building, while reducing energy costs by 25%.
There is something about solar energy. We all want to switch to it. But solar panels are an eyesore. Like in the future, those unsightly solar panels no longer exist. Instead, the panels will be hidden inside other things.
Solar panels will no longer be products by themselves. They will disappear into other products like windows, building facades, and even highways. U.S. engineer Robert Broussard has developed a new prototype of photovoltaic road panels that will generate electricity by using solar cells embedded in road surfaces. Pythagoras Solar is a leader in energy-generating window technology. Solar windows convert sunlight into energy while regulating room temperature. Thanks to 2 separate inventions, a new transparent polymer solar cell, and miniature 3D panels, it is now possible to collect solar energy even on rainy days. In addition to these techniques,
Okay, last picture, okay? Yeah, come with me, come with me. You want a picture? Come with me. What's your name? Hola, qué bueno, con la aseguranza. Así podemos entrar sin ser controlados. Hey, last one. Okay, last one, really last. Seguranza, come, ¿dónde está mi chiquita? Aquí, vieni. Last one, where? All campus, hola, campuseros. Okay. Hey, guys, you are so cool. Come with me. You want to? Okay, come with me too. Come with me. Go, come with me. Come. Okay. Hey, guys, I got a speech to finish. Up. Yes. No, I got up. Now, guys, as you can see, these girls are not the mayor. There. We need you to do something. Now, what are the next 3 big things? Here, sit down. What are the next 3 big things that are going to happen in the future of cities? First, China will double the urbanization that we have now in the global cities. Now, think about this. We already know that urbanization is the mother of all the problems, right? And China is going to do what? Selfie with Chinese. And China is going to do what? It's going to double. Don't worry, I don't have a good side, only worse side. The Chinese government is going to move 250 million Chinese farmers into cities. Now, consider that the urbanizations were done until now in the history of civilization has been done, remember, starting from Mesopotamia, 5,000 years ago. Most of civilizations happened very recently. When? In the last 200-300 years. But most of it, really, it was in the last 50 years. And now they're moving these people, 250 million people, over 15 years from farms to the cities. And they will double the urbanization that we have in the world. Let me put you into context.
The Chinese government plans to move 250 million people from farms to cities. It plans to do this over the next 12 to 15 years. We're passing over some of the world's largest urban areas, and if we combine the population of all of these cities, we'll reach 250 million people, eventually. The scale of China's project is staggering. If it works, millions of farmers will move from their homes into newly built apartment blocks. Critics of the plan have called it warehousing. These major American cities represent only a fraction of China's goal. We get closer to the total if we add some of Europe's largest urban areas. If the Chinese government reaches its goal, 70% of its people will live in cities. The same transition took centuries in Western countries. At 85 million, we approach the number of Chinese villagers who have moved to cities since 2008. That past migration happened naturally, Farmers found jobs in cities and moved. It was part of a transition that had been underway for decades. China's current plan is far more deliberate and will happen faster. Farmers will now be forced to relocate. Even with some of Western Europe's major cities behind us, we're not even halfway there. We'll need to add many of the largest urban areas in the world. The government is hoping the farmers become urban consumers. Villagers typically grow their own food and provide their own energy. If the farmers find work in these new cities, they will buy electricity and use public transportation, purchase televisions and washing machines, and stoke the Chinese economy. We're almost there now. Just add the population of Tokyo, the world's largest urban area, and we've made it. 250 million people.
Now, you know what that means? It means that we were already 10,000 people in this room, right? In the hour of my speech. You started 2,500. Now we are 10,000 people in this room. We don't have hair. We have a lot of problems. And, shoot, again, mierda, another 10,000 are coming. Chinese. Okay, now, second thing, the bad and the good. There is a study made by McKinsey. McKinsey is the top research company in the world, saying that the global cities of the future will be 600. And these global cities of the future will be partially mega cities, what is now 10 million and over, like Tokyo, like New York, like Sao Paulo, but they will be a lot bigger than this. And then there will be middleweight cities. The middleweight cities are cities that will become between 5 and 10 million people. Now, these middleweight cities will be the places where there will be the best balance between the problems, overpopulated, expensive, polluted, and the good, quality of life, private wealth, impact on economy. Best balance, so the best places to live. Among these middleweight cities that are large, medium, and small, the large and the medium in the emerging countries will be the perfect ones. And now let's have a look at that. Middleweight cities in emerging countries will become the best option. Global cities in 2025, 600 between mega cities and middleweight cities worldwide. Global cities in the future, 2025, middleweight cities in emerging markets, good, 450, the places to live. But the best places to live, 50, which are middleweight, large, and medium, best places to live. 50 places in the world. Where they will be. In Latin America, there will be 15 only. Out of these 15, 3 of them, 1/3 of the best places to live in the future will be Bogota, Medellin, and Cali. Con Veracruz. Okay, last point. High-tech will change the way we will build the cities. Now, innovation, technology, which is why you guys are here, which is my work. I'm an innovation designer, okay? This will change the way we will build the cities. We have seen it. I don't want to go too much on this, but now we don't see this. And are you ready for tweets? Now, I'll tell you what happens now. I tweet you, you tweet me. And we do, why? Because I want you, look, there are so many numbers, so many things that I would like to tell you about the future cities. But I can't, because I will need 2 hours, and my time is gone. So, infographics. I simply love infographics. A lot of numbers, visual, you understand everything, they are cool. So what I'm going to do is, the ones of you who are already connected with me or who will connect now, I'm sending you infographics about what's going to happen. What are the problems of the cities and the numbers of the problems? What are the mega cities of the futures and the numbers of mega cities? I'm sending you the solutions, 23 solutions to build smart cities for the young entrepreneurs for Colombia. I was in a press conference before. Listen, I can feel that there are a lot of vibes here. But there's one thing that we have to think about. I don't want that all the visions and the vibes and the talent that you have here is only be functional to build the cities of the futures and the apps of the futures outside of Colombia. Made by Colombians, the future made by Colombians outside of Colombia. So we got to do something here. And that's why I don't have the mayor, but I have 3 of you here on my stage. Now, tweeters, you tweet me. Today, thanks to this lady here, Lina, can you stand up, please? Please. I know you hate me. Thank you. Thanks to this lady here, I'm doing for the first time this keynote. That will be my world tour next year, 2015. Now, for my keynote, I'm working on a scientific theory of development of cities. Because if we want to change the cities, we will need numbers. We will need an algorithm. Now, this is 5 minutes a bit complex. So, what I'm going to do now is the following. While I send you the twitters, you tweet me and you tell me, vamos Vito, or adelante, or shut up, close the speech. And, are you following me? Who is following me? You is following me? And you are Jasmine, right? Jasmine, right? Are you following me? Cool. Now, you are the judges. You guys rule. And you tell me if I have to speak for another 5 minutes and tell you my work in progress about the scientific theory of the development of cities, and you are the judges. You tell me if there are enough tweets, I'll go on, otherwise I'll close my speech, okay? And starting from now, you only have 30 seconds because we are almost done. And here, rise of mega cities. This is the first one. And here, rise of megacities, treated. Now you have it. This is all the numbers about the megacities now and in the future. Cities are reaching their limits. What are the numbers of the problem? And cities are reaching their limits here, treated. You have it. And what can we do? 23 solutions that I propose you to build smart cities in a smart world. And here they are, tweeted. And finally, if we want to build smart cities in the future and the cities of the future in the right way, what kind of actions we should take? And what kind of indicators we need to keep this under control. And this is the last one, and is tweeted. And now, my girls, tell me, do this guy want me to talk for another 5 minutes or shut up forever?
Que sigas hablando.
Que sigan hablando. ¿Verdad? Oh, hey, it might be boring, okay? Don't tell me I didn't tell it to you. Okay, the first one who starts sleeping, I come down, wake him up, okay? Here, Max Kleber. Max Kleber, it was a biologist, the most important biologist of the last century. Now, he developed a theory, and this theory says that if you double the weight of a human being, the energy that you need to sustain the double of The double of the human being is only 75%. We are talking about metabolism. The metabolism is the energy for life. So say that you have me and a small elephant, which is the double of me, something that still has to be scientifically proved. Then the small elephant will be the double of me, but will only need 75% more energy to live. And this is the original graph that Kleiber did in 1947. Now, I will show it to you about mammals. As you see, all the mammals, all the animals were all on the same line. That means that we react to metabolism in the same way. Me, you, a pig, a rat, we are all of the same kind. We all react in the same way. Now, after 1947, the scientists decided to apply this theory to other living organisms, like bacteria, cells, or plants, trees. And they found out that the same law applies for metabolism of all living organisms. So basically, everything which is living needs the energy for life in the same way. No matter who, if it's a bacteria, me, a pig, an elephant, a tree. After a few years, another scientist, a theoretical physicist, whose name is Geoffrey West, tried to apply this to cities, treating cities like a living organisms. Because, as we say, cities are us. So whatever happens in the city is the mirror of what we do, what we like, what we dislike, right? And he found out that there is a law applying to all the cities. He put together 300 cities of the world, global cities. He found out that energy for the life of the city, like for instance here, the stations, the fuel stations in different towns like this, in different places, France, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, they all on the same line. Now, I understand that this can seem very absurd to us, because we are so different, cities of the world, the citizens of the world, we are so different. But it happens that when we build the cities are a reflection of us, and they have the same needs of energy for life, the same metabolism. For instance, look at the metro networks in the world. Cities so different among them, but they all look at the end of it, and the cities are different, the people is different, but they all go in the same scheme. Now, what West found out, Geoffrey West, remember the law saying that we have 25% of metabolism at the double of weight? Cities work in a different way. Cities go 15% up. But if they go up 15% for the good and for the bad. So crime, if you double the size of a city from 10 million residents to 20 million, what happens? 50% more crime, fires, accidents, diseases, 50% more economy impact, wealth per capita, and fun and entertainment. They go up 15%. And you see here, for instance, you have on the same line for the cities of the world that the people who failed and the people who made more wealth, the crime and the inventions. So we can say that our biological metabolism for the people is 25% less. This is a sublinear slope. It goes down. This is why we die. But if we look at the metabolism of the cities, is a 155, meaning a 50% less, more. And this is superlinear slope. Now, you remember what happens when we have a superlinear slope? Collapse. But going through all the cities of the world, the global cities of the world, West and this research team find out that there is a way to avoid collapse in our future. And this way is innovation. Because innovation will regenerate the cycles of growth. And innovation, my friends, is the reason why you're here. It's my job. I'm an innovation designer. I believe that innovation technology can save our future, it can save the world. I believe in innovation. I believe in the future. I believe. You may think I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Thank you.